Hello everyone, welcome to soundproofguide.com. In this video, I'll talk about the difference between 5/8" and 1/2" drywall for soundproofing. If you're thinking of soundproofing a wall in your home, what thickness wallboards will work best? The drywall thickness you apply on the wall will undoubtedly affect the level of soundproofing you're going to acquire. In this video, I'll discuss the difference between 5/8" and 1/2" drywall and which one is the best to soundproof a room. So if you're in the process of building or remodeling, you should consider installing 5/8" wallboards on all walls and ceilings in your home. Typically in the last 20 years or so, most homes will have 1/2" sheetrock on the walls and 5/8" on the ceilings. Of course, the reason some people use 1/2" and not 5/8" drywall on the walls is for cost savings, but I will be talking about the actual cost difference in a few minutes. So why do people choose 5/8" over 1/2" on the ceiling? Well, the reason most builders use 5/8" sheetrock on the ceiling is because the added thickness of the drywall makes it much stiffer. Another reason to go with 5/8" on the ceiling is that you will greatly reduce the chance of the drywall bowing between the ceiling joists, especially if they're on 24" centers. Of course, when you use a thicker product, you'll have better soundproofing. But why would installing 5/8" on the wall be better than 1/2" drywall? Well, like I mentioned, most homes these days will have 5/8" on the ceiling and 1/2" on the wall. I'm a big fan of using 5/8" wallboard everywhere in the house. The reason for my 5/8" preference is because when we frame a house with traditional lumber, although we use finger jointed lumber most of the times, the 5/8" is much smoother drywall by making all the inconsistencies disappear. All the inconsistencies between the studs are gone, giving the wall a much better finish overall. Another reason 5/8" is better for soundproofing is the obvious, the thickness. More thickness means more mass, and more mass means better soundproofing. And also 5/8" is also more durable than the 1/2" option. If you like this type of content, consider subscribing to my channel. I would also appreciate you leaving a comment if you have any soundproofing questions or comments for me to answer. I will provide links to each and every one of these products I talk about in this video in the description below for you to purchase. And now back to the video. So you're probably wondering what the difference between the two different thickness of drywall would end up costing you if you decide to go ahead and install 5/8" throughout your house. The cost difference is quite negligible, to say the least, especially when you consider the difference in quality and durability. To give you an example, for a 2,200 square foot home, it costs roughly $300 more to change from a 1/2" to a 5/8" drywall. You should ask your builder how much the upcharge would be to change from 1/2" to 5/8" throughout the house and not just the ceilings. The difference in price certainly pales in comparison with the difference in the overall finish of the walls. Another question you might have is the weight of the 5/8" compared to the 1/2". Well, we've covered why the 5/8" drywall is better in the finish and also has a better noise absorption capabilities. Are you now asking yourself if it's too heavy to handle, if you're doing this as a DIY project, or if you're remodeling your home all by yourself? I guess that would be a DIY project. But anyway, the answer is yes and no. Of course, the 5/8" sheets of drywall will be much heavier than the 1/2", but now you can buy a lighter 5" drywall called USG Ultra Light Fire Code Tapered Edge Gypsum Board. You can easily find this type of drywall at your local Home Depot or by clicking the link in the description below. USG Ultra Light was designed as a lightweight alternative to standard 5/8" Type X panel. The USG Ultralight is 30% lighter than the 5/8" alternative, 27 pounds to be exact, without sacrificing performance or appearance. You can use these wallboards everywhere, Type X boards are not needed to reduce noise or act as a fire resistance. You could use the standard 5/8" drywall where you want more soundproof room, and use the ultralight for the rooms where noise reduction is not an issue. The ultralight is optimized for non-rated and 30 minutes fire partitions, such as tenant improvement project where nearly 80% of the walls do not require an hour-long fire rating. The ideal place to use ultralight board versus the standard boards is for contractors that want to use 5/8" wallboards instead of 1/2" for improved strength and impact resistance, especially in high-end custom homes and commercial constructions on steel studs. Ultralight wallboards are also an excellent choice in an office remodel as long as the partitions between the office and the conference rooms do not need to be fire rated. But now let's focus again on the standard 5/8" drywall if you wanted to soundproof just a few walls in a home that is already complete. The simple way to do this is to simply screw the second layer of drywall over your existing layer of drywall in the finished room of the wall you're trying to soundproof. Of course, there are several ways that I'm going to talk about that you can make the soundproofing capabilities much better by adding a little bit of something in between the walls to give it a better soundproofing. I'll start with my favorite option, and the most effective option is to use resilient channel. What resilient channel does is that it decouples the wall. The goal of decoupling is to reduce vibrations as much as possible between the existing construction and the new construction. To help with decoupling, people can use sound isolation clips or resilient channels. Resilient channel has been around for decades, and a lot of people count on that for soundproofing, including myself. The soundproofing effectiveness happens by installing a channel that is perpendicular to the studs on the wall and the drywall. The goal is to form a T shape and then install the other layer of drywall after that. This makes the drywall not come into contact with the studs, isolating the sound quite a bit. I have a full video explaining the differences and benefits of resilient channels and also sound isolation clips to decouple your wall in the link that you see pop up above your screen. And the second and also easier option to make your second layer of drywall much more effective in soundproofing the wall is by using an acoustic compound in between the existing wall and the new layer of drywall. One of the most popular noise-proofing compound, and the one that I mostly use, is from the company Green Glue. To give you a brief description of what Green Glue is exactly and what it does regarding soundproofing, well, this compound is a viscoelastic noise dampening compound that, when sandwiched between two layers of drywall, it greatly reduces the amount of sound transmitted through the walls or ceiling. The compound acts as an air void between the two layers and also absorbing some of the noise hitting the walls or ceiling. All you need to do before you install the second layer of drywall onto the wall or ceiling is to use 2 tubes of the compound for every sheet of drywall. Make sure you get some on the entire surface of the drywall by placing the compound in a random pattern. Green Glue compound will make enough of a difference that it makes it worth it when the cost of a single tube is only around $20. Feel free to take a look at many of our other YouTube videos and also some of our articles on our website, soundproofguide.com. Don't forget to click the like button if you enjoyed this video, and also consider subscribing to our channel if you like our content. Also, feel free to leave us a comment below if you have any soundproofing questions of your own. We will certainly try our very best to help you. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next video or any other videos in our channel. Thank you very much.